it makes like, okay.
It's painful.
Some days are harder than others, but yeah.
What did you guys learn in those two instances?
When you put them first, things work out.
Exactly. You don't take it personal, right?
Yeah.
That's what the world is about. You can't take things personal, right? When you have those moments or those instances that completely inconvenient your world, like inconvenience, right? Like, oh my gosh, like me, I was Friday night, got a 9 o'clock email from a buyer saying, oh, by the way, I don't want to see any of those houses you just put together for me all day long today. I want to see these 6 houses, and I want to see them tomorrow morning by, 11 a.m. Oh, that's easy to do, right? And I want to be like, what the heck? And we can't, right? Because when we become self-focused on us, it's now become us, right? And it's not about us. It is their home search for the realtors in the room. It is their home search. And we have to remember that they're discovering where they want to go, how they want to get there, and where they want to put their roots. And so we are the vessel to allow them to discover that, right? And so if you allow them to do that self-discovery without any pushback or any like, oh, you drive me crazy, like I can't do that. If you allow them to do that, you will win in this business because you are now putting other people first, which is our fiduciary duty as a realtor, right? You are now putting everyone else first. That's why you win. That's why you win. Because you set aside your personal beliefs, thoughts, needs, inconveniences, right? Friday night, I'm like not so excited about this, right? And you go, okay, yes, this is about you and your home search, right? That's what it's about. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else have anything else they want to share? Or anything you want to share that's a great aha from chapter 11 is what we're working on today in Leadershift. Trained leaders to transformational leaders. And I got to tell you, I want to be a transformational leader. What about you guys? Does anyone else want to be a transformational leader? Anyone? None of you want to be a
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Go ahead, put your hand up.
Well, I think that every single time that we give up a little bit of ourselves, we're helping in that transformation. Sometimes we just don't realize that. Because again, when you put others first, and you allow them to grow, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yes.
Sometimes we just want the big word to be like oh my God, I'm doing this huge thing, but they said that you had to do little things that they will become great things. And we think that we have to do that. When you do those little things,
Yes.
it becomes a great thing.
Yes.
But we want to start with the big old thing. But when you do a little bit every day,
Yes.
it becomes something awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that sometimes we get scared with a big word like, oh, I want to be a transformation. But if you do those little things every day, that's what you're doing, even without not knowing.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Thank you for sharing that, because I'm going to tell you right now, maybe you guys didn't want to say, yes, I want to be a transformational leader, and yet every one of you are in here. You don't realize that, or if you do realize it, you aren't willing to claim it, and you are, and you need to claim it. Because as a realtor, and these are nothing but realtors in this room, except for my marketing person, there's nothing but realtors in this room, right? Every one of you are transforming lives. Every single one of you are, right? Every single one of you is helping a family move from one location to another. And if you don't believe that that is a transformational change in someone's life, then you need to sit down and you need to think about that again, because that is a huge transformation. When you ask a buyer or a seller to relocate from one location to another location, that is transformational. 100%. And you need to be steadfast in that. You need to be strong in it, and you need to help them achieve that, right? That is a beautiful thing, to be able to help a family achieve that goal, right? And sometimes it's not even an easy one to do. Remember, sometimes they're moving. Sellers are not as easy in the sense of sometimes they're moving because it's a job relocation and it's something they didn't want to do, or it's a death, or it's a divorce, or it's something traumatic. So sellers sometimes are not as exciting as buyers. I got to go out this weekend and give keys out on Friday and give keys out on Thursday. Like, buyers are exciting. And that's like, woohoo, right? Because they're excited. They bought their first house or their second house or their move-up house or, their dream house or their retirement home. They're super excited. A seller, on the other hand, is like, oh, this is like work. They're either relocating to another location, whatever it be. It's just a different emotional experience. Very different. So you need to be aware of that, because every one of you in here are transformational leaders. Own it. Be thankful and grateful that you have the opportunity to transform other lives. And you have the opportunity to eat the lunch Lori Alvarez and team provided. It's ready, it's here, and it's salad because you want it healthy. So it's healthy.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
And it's something that I had an appointment this Saturday for a buyer that
Yes.
one of my clients referred to me. That person wasn't my client, but it was the mother of the wife. But because I treat them right, she gave me the referral instead of the agent that worked with them.
Yes.
Okay. So she gave me this referral, and I have an appointment on Saturday. And when I called to confirm my appointment, he said, "Oh, you know what? I'm not ready." So I had to reschedule because I'm selling a house in Florida, and I thought it was an excuse that he was using.
Yes.
And I said, "Oh, no problem," but because the way I responded it, I think that's a lot to do, because we take it personal, like, oh my God, I already make up the plans because I moved my open house that I was going to have because I had this appointment.
Yes.
So he's like, you screw up my day, my open house, and now you inconvenience me because now I don't have open house and I don't have an appointment, right?
Yes. Yes.
That was my first thought.
Yes.
But I no. So I just keep it like, you know what, whenever you're ready, this, that. So what is my surprise that this morning he calls me and he wants to start, he doesn't want to wait until the house in Florida closes. And I thought like, so when you have that and then comes back, but when you're like
can't do it.
I wasted my Saturday.
do
I
it.
didn't have an open house because of your appointment.
That's right. Can't do it. Thank you, Patricia, for sharing. Okay, everyone's up getting food, lunch. Hey, Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. KW College Park out there, thank you as well for tuning in. Let's get into it, right? We're going to talk about trained leaders to transformational leaders. So maybe right now you just feel like you're a trained leader. You're not a transformational leader, but I just told you, empowered you, want you to believe you are a transformational leader because of what you're doing. Do you own that? Do you accept that? Is that exciting to you?
It is.
It's exciting for me. Like, I get excited when a family says, woohoo, we want to work with you. I was excited. We got a new listing this weekend. I was like excited. Yeah, I got a new family who wants to hire us to help them move, right? That's exciting. Oh, we got to get some energy level up in here. You guys are all sleepy right now. So would you say you are a person who trains leaders or who transforms leaders? Which one would you say you are? Mr. Tom Moore, which one are you?
I'm actually both.
Interesting. You train and transform.
Yes.
You're a transformational trained leader.
There you go.
There we go. TTL. Here's the TTL here.
'Cause I want to learn it, master it, and then transform others through it.
Excellent, excellent. Anyone else? Anyone else have an input there? What do you think? Anyone in here believe they're a trained leader or one who transforms?
I don't know. I know
Still
I'm a
figuring out?
natural leader, but I don't know. I never thought about that before, so.
I encourage you to download the book and listen to John read it to you.
Okay.
Oh, it's fantastic, right? Because we only have one more chapter left.
Right.
You're catching the tail end of it. Oh, this chapter is amazing. Like, I was so empowered this morning when I listened to it. So, what evidence can you present to back your answer? Tom, what do you got?
Say that again.
What evidence can you present to back your answer to being either trains leaders or one who transforms leaders?
Well, like I was sharing, I dive deep into a lot of the different trainings and everything. So,
Yeah.
for me to be able to train others, I want to know the material really well.
Yes.
But I don't want that to hold me back from actually initiating the process either.
Yes.
I'm not going to wait till I learn everything at 100% before I get started, because I can share what I know incrementally.
Sure.
Because that could be transformational to somebody's life
Yes.
incrementally as well.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Thank you. Essentials for transformational leaders. So this is the essentials for a transformational leader, right? So trained leaders, I'm going to read it since you're all stuffing your face with good, healthy salad.
Thank you.
I'll read for you, right? Okay. Decide where you land in this list. Trained leaders know how to lead. You listen closely, right? Because this is what we were just talking about. Transformational leaders know why they lead. Trained leaders are light. Transformational leaders are contagious. Trained leaders influence today. Transformational leaders influence today and tomorrow. Trained leaders ask people to follow. Transformational leaders ask people to make a difference. Trained leaders love to lead. Transformational leaders love the people they lead. Trained leaders are trained. Transformational leaders are trained and transformed. Trained leaders help people. Transformational leaders help people change. Trained leaders have a career. Transformational leaders have a calling.
I love that one.
Yes. Trained leaders impact a few. Transformational leaders impact many. I feel like some of you would say, I fall in some of that and I fall on some of the other. Would you all agree?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every single one of you in here do some of all of the little things that are here. Because I believe that the leader is growing always, right? I know very much beforehand when I was formally accredited by Keller Williams to be a trained faculty person here at Trained Leadership here, and I have the ability to train you guys, whatever that official title is they gave me. I have a certificate and everything. Back then, I would say I was really just a trained leader. Now I see some of the impact of being a transformational leader as well. I see that in my team specifically because I work with them day in and day out. So I see how Amy's life is changing. I see how Nathan's life is changing. And I see how Amanda's is potentially changing.
Potential.
Right?
It is changing.
It is just because she's interacting with me.
So there we go.
Yes, right? So, right, you do. You see change, though, in your leadership and your growth and the ability to what you do, right? So you're growing in your leadership right now. When you heard that, what did you think?
Like I said, I think I see some of, I'm more of a trained leader right now,
Perfect.
but I'd like to be transformational.
Yeah. So own it. You already are. I already told you, right? Now just start doing it.
Right.
That's it. That's all it is. So number one, for those of you who are writing things down in your book, possess a clear picture of what transformational leaders do. Make a list of the character traits of a transformational leader. See things others do not see. Organizations are not limited by their opportunity. They are limited by their leader. Ooh, Dave Ramsey. Do you think about that? Like even in the home environment, right? Like which one is it? Like my kids are only as good as I allow them to be. My husband is only as good as I allow him to be, right?
Yep.
Or your wife is only as good as you allow her to be, right? Because your leadership within their life will impact them. It will, just 100%. It will impact them, right? They'll either push away because they don't like your leadership so that they can then go outside of your leadership, or they'll lean into you, right? It's going to be one or the other. So which one are you doing? Are you allowing them to lean into you and grow and become better, or are they pushing away? When have you asked why with a problem? When have you asked why not, looking for a solution? Say things others do not say. When did you courageously initiate change when no one was willing to hear? Woo! That's a challenging one, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. Where my church that I was attending, that was something that one of the ministry leaders at our church, she had to really lead the way in the change of pastoral leadership. Because how do you move a great man who's been a pastor for a little too long now out of his position to bring in fresh, new leadership to start growing a church? Whew, that's hard work to make that shift. And there was a few transitional people that were transformational in that. They were leaders who said, okay, I'm just going to push this forward until the church is ready to receive it. That's hard stuff, right? John Maxwell talks about Rosa Parks when she quietly just says, no, I'm not getting up. Quietly, respectfully says, no, I'm not getting up. That was a transformational moment in our history. Believe things others do not believe. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let them down. Abraham Lincoln. Do you know one of the best things that my business coach has ever said to me is she says to me almost every time I talk to her, she goes, you are an MRE agent. I believe in you and I know you are. And because she believes that, I keep pushing forward. I keep pushing. She goes, you are it. Just go do it. You are. And when you have someone who stands behind you and says, you are it, and they don't leave that position, they don't question it, you can lean into them and say, okay, I forgot I was. Can you help me again? Right? My coach does that for me every Tuesday. She reminds me that I am successful and I can do what I need to do. I just need to own it and go do it. right? Who do you have in your life that's doing that for you? And then who are you doing that for? Who are you steadfast, always supporting? Amy's dad, when he was raising me, like that, he always was like, you are this, go do it. Always. He never questioned it. He always encouraged me. He always supported me. I knew I was what he said he was because he believed it. And I didn't want to let him down. I didn't want to. And it really has helped formed me in who I am today, right? It really has made the difference because he pushed me to write and he pushed me to read and be very active in journalism. And that has been a part of what I do today. Today I ask lots of questions to discover the story. And in journalism and your journalism abilities and to write a story, you have to ask lots of questions. You have to see in between the lines, right? You have to feel it. And because of his encouragement and support in that area, constantly telling me, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you are it. It is so applicable to who I am today and what I do today. Be that for someone else. Who have you believed in and why did you follow them? Anyone? Who do you believe in and why do you follow them? Maybe you follow them virtually. Maybe you follow them in person. Maybe you follow them via the internet. Maybe they're way across the world. Who is it? Anyone? Anyone have a great example?
Well, for me, that would be you. I believe in you, and I follow in this business, and I do my best to do what you do,
Yes.
because I see how well you do it and how successful you are, so that's my example. I'll follow you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I have someone I follow too, right?
Yeah.
I have to. My belief is if they do more than me, I'm not questioning what they're doing.
Right.
I'm just doing what they're doing. Until I outproduce them, then I have the right to now say, oh, maybe we could do it a different way or a better way. You know? And I have those from Bold. Go to Bold. I'm telling you, go to Bold. From my Bold trainings, when that agent that led the Bold program stood up and said, hey, I sold 110 houses a year, I did this, or it was 120, whatever her number was, you know, and this is how I did it. I was
Got your attention.
no questions asked. I will do exactly what you said. No questions asked. I will start asking questions when I outproduce you. Because then it's maybe I could do a little different here or this or that, right? So who for you? Who are you modeling being mentored and trained by? Whether they even know it. Who is it? Anyone else? If you haven't found someone, you need to.
No, Kristen.
Yes.
Good chair.
Kristen. Kristen, we love you for doing what you do. You're making a difference in the Market Center. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Anyone else? Find someone. Find someone who does and helps. Feel things others do not feel. When the light goes on in your life, you want to turn everyone else's light on. Paul Martinelli. I really loved that. Have you ever sat down with your kid or maybe someone and you're teaching them something? I was a terrible teacher to my kids. Like, I hated doing homework, I'll be really honest. Did it terrible. Really, like, I leveraged that off to my husband, and he was not much better than me, honestly. So, our boys can attest that we were not good at homework. And that moment when you see them go, oh, I figured it out. That is awesome. Have you had that experience? Any one of you? It's so cool, isn't it? Yes. I see it in my sister all the time. Every time I sit down with her and I teach her something new. And I see her little eyes get bigger and she's like, yeah, oh, I got it, sister. And I'm like, oh, thank the Lord. Yes. It's hard work to communicate stuff to people so that they get it. You know, even when I'm helping a seller and I sit down with them and they sign the listing agreement with me, I'm like, yes, they got my passion. They understood it. And as soon as they put their signature on it, I know they got it. They understood what I'm shooting for, right? And that's exciting to me. When a buyer signs your buyer's agreement, that's exciting, right? Because they got it. They understood who you are and what you're going to do for them. And they're like, yes. It's an exciting moment. The light has went on. Do things others do not do. What are you willing to do that others are not willing to do? My sister is one of the few who signs buyer-broker agreements. Who else in here signs buyer-broker agreements? Ah, we got a couple. That's right. Good job. Who else? I don't sign them. I don't. I'm old school. I just go show houses, to be honest. Right? And they're so much better when you sign them. So much better. Because then they understand the process. They understand the process. What's something else that someone does in here that no one else does? That you know other people should do? That would be transformational in someone's life? Anything?
Affirmations.
Affirmations. Why is that important?
Well, I don't really say them for myself, but I say them to my son every
Oh,
morning.
look it.
for
She
him to
takes care of
repeat
him.
them. So.
Mama, why don't you own them too for you?
I don't know, I just say them for him.
I
I'll
do the
add them
same.
for me too. But
Yeah.
I do them for Connor every morning.
Yeah.
when we're getting him ready. And he
You are
says
wonderful.
his.
You are strong. You are an amazing man.
I text one to all three of my kids every morning.
Beautiful. I love that. I do it about once a month. I'm good. Once a month. I promise I'm working on being a better everyone else, right? I'm like, just get on the team text, then you get affirmed. Put all the family on the team text. Half the family's on the team anyway, so what does it matter? It's all the same. I love that. I love that. And I pray that you will also affirm yourselves when you are sending out that affirmations to your children. Right? The equipping cycle. Number 1, I do it. Number 2, I do it and you are with me. Number 3, you do it and I am with you. Number 4, you do it. Number 5, you do it and someone is with you. The equipping cycle. Which one is better? Which one is transformational?
I think it's part of the process. You start just, I do it and you follow, and then you grow, and now you can do it and I watch you doing it, and then now you do it for somebody else.
Yes.
Now I see the growth,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Because that's what the transformation was. It's like, just, because if you want to keep holding their hands, it gets to the point that they say, I don't want it, I can do it myself, right, you kids?
Yes.
So it's like, I can do it, let me do it, but sometimes we don't want to let go.
Right.
And that's not being a transformation.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep them with the training wheels, like, no, I take them off, I don't want them anymore. So you have to let people grow,
Yes.
and then see them help somebody else and grow, and because by doing it, we all grow.
Yeah. Well, and John says, right? John Maxwell says, he says, you cannot believe someone else has or can transform your life until they've done it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Recovering alcoholics transform other recovering alcoholics' lives because they go, oh, I saw you. You've been sober for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can do it, I can do it. I can tell you, my belief in being able to service the amount of families that I have serviced with my business has come because I saw one agent who came and visited us at KW Glendora, and she serviced as many families as I wanted to service in 1 year in Pasadena, And I said, if she can do it at that price point in Pasadena, I can do it at my price point here. I can do it as well. Because she's not any better than me. She's just another woman, right? She's just been doing it. So as soon as someone, like you said, grows in it, your kid watches you riding a bike and says, well, daddy's riding his bike with no training wheels, I can do it too.
Yeah.
Right? And you grow in the process.
And that's what John says. I've made a note here. It says, I must be transformed first.
Yes.
You know, because like you just said, using that same example.
100%.
Because you lead by the example. I've been sober for
Yes.
this duration of time. So if you can do it, I can do it too.
Yes.
So it's like it even says number one, I can do it. You do it first, and then you bring others along with you through the process. And so, and a couple other things that he mentioned that I wrote down that I thought were really key is what kind of difference can I make?
Yes.
And then also how big of a difference can I make? And to always have that mindset that whenever you initiate something, have those two questions at the peak
Yes.
of your thoughts,
Yes.
and it will be your driving, motivating force to continue it through.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you. One of the things that when we were at the leadership breakfast on Thursday morning, one of the things that was so impactful for me was they were talking about an agent who's over in LA, right? And that agent, her team is a team of 5, and she did 190 units. She serviced 190 families with a team of 5. 2 agents on her team. That's it. Just 2 agents and 3 admin support was what she did. So it makes you think, I don't need to have a bunch of agents on my team. I just need to have the systems. Right? So how do you learn to do it in a small perspective from a small team, right? How do you do it? Or you can be that big team and have all those agents, and there's nothing wrong with that either. You know, but the reality is you can be a small, intimate team as long as you get the systems down.
And make
You
a
can
big
do it.
impact, yeah.
Yes, you can. 100%. When I went to that, I'm just telling you, next time that they invite you to go where people think bigger and do bigger, go. It allows for your belief to change.
Yeah.
Because no one out there is better than you. They're just different than you.
And I want to add something, because sometimes people, they're book smart, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But they've never done it. And moral authority doesn't allow you to try to teach something that you've never done,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Because it doesn't make you credible.
Yes.
Yeah, your book savvy doesn't make you an expert in the subject, okay?
Yeah.
So, one of my clients asked me one time, it was a first time home buyer, and he said to me, and it was a big aha, I was telling him how important it was to have a house, and he asked me, you have a house, right? And I had to say, no, I don't.
Not yet.
You know, but at that moment it was, but it's like, how can I be teaching you something that I haven't achieved?
Yes.
You know, it doesn't make me an expert. So we have to go through that process as well.
Yeah.
And it makes you comprehend better what they're going through, and then it gives you moral authority.
Yes. And you were inspired. I'll bet you in that moment, you took
Yeah.
that truth and you said, I'm going to buy a house if it kills me. Because you
Almost
bought a
did,
house.
But it almost did, but
You bought a house.
yeah.
That's
Almost
right.
killed her.
Yes, it did.
And if a realtor can buy a house, anyone can buy a house. Because really figuring out our money, good luck.
Yep.
Fluctuates.
That's right. You teach what you know, but you reproduce who you are. That's very impactful, right? Number 3, take positive action based on your internal changes. Transformation requires you to walk uphill. Where are you traveling from knowing to doing? I love this. Because I'm such a doer. I am not that person that's like, oh, okay, let's figure out this and let's figure out this and let's figure out this and this and this before I do. I'm not that person. It drives Amanda crazy. I'm like, just let's do it. And I'm like, get out there and do it. And if we make a mess of it, then we'll just figure it out after.
Clean up.
That's right. And I love that John says that, right? Like, just go do it. Yes, the planning is important. It's not to disqualify the planning, right? And action is more imperative. Because without action, what happens?
Just
Nada.
It's all up here.
yeah, you stay complacent.
You just sit in that space and you wonder about it and you wonder about it and you don't know until you give it away whether or not it's worthy. Does that make sense to you guys? And it may not be perfect. Like Amanda, I want you all to encourage her, right? She is working on launching her own podcast. I want you guys to ask her every week, have you done that yet, Amanda? I want you guys, every time you see her, to ask her, right? Because she's not going to know what her audience wants or who they are until she gives them something to hear. And it's going to hurt sometimes when they give you that feedback, but it's going to make you better. And some of the feedback's going to be like, yes, right? But you got to step into it. So I want you guys to ask her every week. Be her accountability partners and just say, hey, Amanda, how's that podcast coming? She'll launch it sooner or later. She doesn't move as quick as me, but she still does it. She's a rock star like that. Number 4, create an environment that promotes positive change. Promotes positive change. I love that. Transformational movements require transformational leaders. Jim Collins. I tell my husband all the time now, not all the time, but I do tell him, right? I tell him, okay, don't be a hater today. Just because they wore their pants down by their butt doesn't mean like they're bad. It just means they like to wear their pants different than us. Don't be a hater. Let them be free in their pants by their bottom cheeks. Leaders who are passionate about transformation, resources that teach good values, small groups where people learn and participate. Right here, this is a fantastic group of people who are coming together to talk about and participate in ideas to improve yourself. Make it a priority in your life. I now understand when John Maxwell says it's not about goals, it's about growth, right? The goals will come with the growth. Your goals will not move up if you are not growing who you are personally.
We've actually experienced that with the Empower Hours on Thursday mornings. There's a few here that go, and we're experiencing that already.
That's great.
You know, it's like a small mastermind group, and we take a topic and there's a platform for everybody to kind of share like we're doing right now.
Right.
And really kind of pull stuff out of us.
Yes.
And then we dive right in on doing like scripting and role play and stuff. So we all leave kind of jazzed and pumped.
Fantastic.
Like ready to okay, I'm ready to tackle my day now. Let's go make those calls. I kind of got it down now, you know.
Yes.
So it's just the initiative of doing it though. You know?
Yes.
So.
Fantastic.
So,
Keep
yeah.
it up. Keep it up. Empower Hour right here at KW College Park. Love that. How many areas, life moments do you have where you get to come together with people who want to speak positivity and encouragement into your life? Right? People tell me, oh, you're crazy. You go to Soul Cycle every night. You do that every night. Do you know what? Because they speak positivity into my life every single time I go. And I thrive off of that. I need that. I am one who needs affirmations. I need to be affirmed. And they do that, right? They do that for me. And that's why I go every day. It powers me up for the next day, which then allows for me to then give to my sister, to Amanda, to Nathan, right? To Destiny, to those that are on my team, to my family, to my clients. To be able to show up here and do this for you. It's a win-win for me and you. At least I believe so. Commit to making a difference with others in your community. Transformational pattern. Top down. Leadership influence filters down, not up. Tom, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You're filtering down, right?
Right.
You're making that difference here.
Thank you.
Small to big, mass movements begin with a few people. Inside out, inner values determine outward behavior. As you read Jerry Anderson's story on transformation, how could you see transformation occurring in your world? Anyone, did they read the story? Did you understand the story? Can you recall the story from when you heard the book and listened?
I don't.
Tom, you have anything for us?
I do. That was in reference to the.
Thank you.
That was in the jail
Yes.
system and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. I put a synopsis. I put out of gratitude, having a desire to make a difference, teaching value, seeking to change the hearts and minds of other leaders, teaching values or teach values and values change.
Yes.
And then forgiveness is one of the big values that we can embrace, because everybody always can get offensive of somebody at some point, but the more that you don't release that and forgive that person, the more you're actually hanging on to it. And I think so that was one of the big key things. It's like, yeah, forgiveness, we always have to remember that forgiveness of heart, so that doesn't end up like a cloud that hangs over you and inhibits your ability to really project forward and move past it. You know, it's always kind of that weighing thought in your mind, so just forgive it and forget it. You know, so
Thank you.
but those are some key points that I got out of it, without getting specific to the setting, but just kind of in a synopsis base.
Thank you. Anyone else want to share anything that they may have written down? Melissa? Yeah, I know you always write notes. Not there?
I mean, I liked his story,
Yeah.
but for your question here, it doesn't kind of relate. I just like the fact that in his story,
Yes.
they said that the inmates were, if they were taught values and everything in the beginning,
Mhm.
Yes.
they probably would have never went into the system in the first place.
Mm.
And that kind of like, for me, that's big, because so many of the kids nowadays are not being taught the values.
Yes.
And everybody's, you know, worldwide, they're going into the system, and it's sad.
It is. It is.
I remember the
Thank you,
story now.
Melissa.
That
Yeah.
they brought this person to teach them, and then the round tables, and they had to share. In order to be admitted in that group,
Mhm.
they had to participate.
Yes.
And sometimes we want to gain something, but we are not willing to give. And I think it was the key piece of that group, that in order to be part of it, they had to share with a small group and participate and be
Yes.
on it,
Yes.
you know? So I think that was successful with the guards first, and then the people in jail, they're asking why we cannot be part of that.
Yeah.
And then it started expanding until it was transformed,
Yes.
because it was impactful for the officers,
Mhm.
and it's not about money, because they were accepting briberies and money
Sure.
because they didn't have a good salary, so the morals went down. But when they say, well, it's not about just that,
Yes.
then they start feeling respect, and then they had that respect for the people, and then start changing.
Yeah. I like what you said, thank you. I like what you said with regards to showing up and participating, right? Thank you for everything you shared. I liked that part specifically, and John Maxwell talks about it, right? In order to be a transformational leader, you have to share. You have to. Otherwise, you will just continue to be a trained leader. You will just take information in, and you will just keep taking it and keep taking it, but you're not moving it forward. You're not sharing it with the world. And I was thinking about it this morning as I was listening to the story with reference to my marriage coaching, right? And I wrote this long post, and my marriage coach had said something to me about, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. And one of the things that really, really hit me this morning was my complaint was, my gripe was that my husband loves to plan an activity for us, but doesn't plan the activity. We're just showing up to the activity. And then we don't have any real, like, what are we doing while we're here kind of thing, right? So my complaint to my coach was, like, could you put some time and effort into it? We're going to Texas. What are we going to do while we're in Texas, right? And I didn't take my ownership in that. We're going to Texas. Lori, talk to your husband about how excited you are that you're going to Texas and the things that you would love to do. And maybe every night at our Wednesday date night, have a conversation about our next trip, because I'm complaining about how we have lack of things to talk about. And yet we have a ton to talk about, right? Like, oh, I could do this and we could do that. And what about this? And get excited and start planning it together and having a conversation rather than just showing up. And I realize in the majority of my life, I just show up and then I let it go. Right, Amanda? You know I do. I just show up and then I'm like, yes, because I do well in that way. And imagine how much more I would do if I was prepared, if I contributed, if I shared, right? If I gave my insight into what I expected, did a little research about where I want to go and what I want to do, and not expect everyone else to do it for me, but me actually do it, and then share the wisdom. Share it forward.
Or doing it together, like
Yes.
he plans the tickets and you plan the excursion or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to then living an intentional life about saying no to what you need to say no to in order to really invest in what matters. Investing in what matters. Because life can get really busy and it's really easy to say yes, 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 yes. And become a leader, but not a transformational leader. Because you're too busy serving too many areas. Be intentional in the few areas that matter, that you do well, that is your call, where God has placed you. Coming to this class, right? Showing up. Every one of you can say in here that because of someone else's words spoken, you are different today now. Correct? Because of your spoken word, you have made a difference in someone else's life. So share every time you show up. Come prepared to share. Don't just show up. Come prepared to share. Because you are adding to someone else's life. And you never know what that's going to do for someone else when they go home. And apply that to them personally. Be that person. Transformation requires you walk uphill. Instead of climbing, what posture do you naturally do? Talking. Let's discuss uphill climbing. Thinking. Let's contemplate uphill climbing. Planning. Let's strategize about uphill climbing. Surveying. Let's ask others what they think about uphill climbing. Studying. Let's examine what uphill climbing looks like. Resting. Let's conserve energy before we start climbing. What are you going to do to lead your transformation? Not accept simply training. What are you avoiding doing because it is getting difficult? Events for me. When I add events to my business, it becomes hard work. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of energy. And it's so worth it. And the whole world knows you're doing it. They don't know what you're doing, though. So when you mess it all up, they don't actually know that it's all messed up. They just know that they showed up and it was this experience. For example, here's a great example. We just had our bunco party and we called it a black and white party. So some of the people who showed up in black and white attire, while everyone else was in casual clothing. I don't think that we intended it to be a black and white attire party. I think we just intended it to be black and white in color and decoration and theme, not actual black and white formal attire. And so one of the family members texted me and he's like, I've been looking all day for my suits. They just moved, right? He's all, and I can't find our formal suit and she can't find her formal dress and we want to show up in our black and white attire. And I'm like, oh, sure. Yeah, come in whatever, no worries. And I thought after, what did they mean by that? So I went back to Destiny and I said, Destiny, what do they mean by that? She goes, oh, black and white attire, dressy, formal. I'm like, oh, black and white attire. Like, uh-oh. Some people might think our party is going to be formal. Shoot! So I had to put something nicer on so that they didn't feel weird, right? We live and learn. We live and learn. And we had 4 guests who came in black and white attire, and everyone else just came in whatever the heck they wanted to come in because they didn't even realize it was black and white.
They just read party.
They read party, Lori Alvarez's house, be there. That's what they read. So remember, they don't know your mistakes unless they happen to catch it, right? Or you tell someone, right? And you get better every single time you do it. It's hard work. Just do it. It's not going to be perfect. Just do it. And it is so worth it once it's done. The sense of accomplishment, the joy and fun we had, right, Aim? Oh my gosh, so fun. She was like, oh, bunco party, that's for old people, so boring.
It was fun. We had a good time.
And her husband, he didn't even want to play in the beginning. He's like, I'm not playing. And then he joined right in, and now he's like, when are you doing another one? Yeah, right? That's what it is. You just never know till you do it. Show up and participate. What characteristic of a transformational leader do you need to develop? Which is one from that list that you want to develop? Anyone have one on there that stood out to them right now? They're going to say, I'm going to start working on this, Lori. Any one of you? I'm going to go back to it and look at it. Because I'm going to pick one. Know why they lead. Are contagious. Influence today and tomorrow. Ask people to make a difference. Love the people they lead. Are trained and transformed. Help people change. Have a calling. Impact many. I'm going to work on helping people change. I'm going to make that commitment. Anyone else?
I like that one.
Impact many.
Impact many. I love it. That's beautiful. What else? Anyone else going to pick one? What do you got, sister? Give me one. You got to be transformational in the babies' lives you got. Your clients' lives. Give me one. Come on. Hasina, give me one.
Contagious.
Contagious. I love that. Thank you. I love contagious. Amanda, which one?
Helping people change.
Helping people change. I love that. Very nice. Aim, you got it yet? See, my team doesn't get a break. Pick one. Anyone else? While Aim's thinking.
Impact many.
Impact many. I love that. I love that. Do you have an idea already of what you're gonna do? What?
We're working on something.
Okay.
And I have to get it patterned. So I've been working on that like on the side,
Nice.
but it's,
An invention.
yes.
I am so glad I asked
didn't
this
hear that.
question
What did
because
you
I
do?
just learned something new.
And I don't wanna share it because.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
she wants to get a patent. She's working on an invention that is going to, what is it? Not
It's-
that you're gonna,
it's
but what was your choice?
Impact many.
That's going to impact many.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
So that's what I'm.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's exciting. I need to pick up the phone and call you. We haven't talked soon enough. What else? What do you got, Monique?
Help people change.
Help people change. I love that. What about you?
I need to see the list.
Give the lady the list. Let her pick one. Tom, what do you got? You said, what did you say again?
Well, I have several, but I put love the people that they lead.
Love the people they lead. I love that. Thank you.
Help people change.
Help people change. I love that. Thank you.
I like impact many.
Impact many. I love that. Thank you. See, good job, guys. Don't you feel better today that you have committed, that you're going to help people change? Many people. Many people. Oh, I'm so proud of you all. You guys are awesome. That is awesome. Next meeting, chapter 12, which is our last week as well. We're finally going to finish Leadershift. I have enjoyed every week. It feels like it's been long, right? We had holidays and we started last year, and the majority of you have made all the meetings. Some of you joined us at the end. Thank you. You've been here for majority of everything. From day one. Has it been beneficial to you?
Oh, yes.
Yes? Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Fantastic. What about Monique?
It's been great,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, fantastic. It's made a difference for you.
yes.
Doing your homework at home helps too, because I only give so much. I'm not as fantastic as John Maxwell. Listen to him. He's amazing.
It's a new book.
Yeah, he has a new book coming out, which we talked about. And that one we'll probably do in 3 months, I think, because the book and the workbook will be ready. So I'll be able to teach on that one. What is the book called too?
I won't blank.
Bring the leader within, or something like that.
Yeah, I'll
Increase
find
the
it.
leader
I
within.
sent it to you, so I'll look on your.
Yeah, look on our text. It's there. We will do that one because that's his newest book that's coming out. So excited. I'm a big, huge, I'm John Maxwell, trained leader and consultant, blah, blah, blah. I can do that. You see how much I care about titles? But I do have the certification to do it, and I'm so thankful to do it. I just love everything John Maxwell teaches. I know people say he's old, and he's this or he's that, but he's timeless. The Leader's Greatest Return is his newest book. So exciting. In the meantime, I'm getting permission from the Market Center to start an MREA book club, which will start week 3 of this month. We will be moving it to Thursdays at noon. No, at 2, right? Is what we said? Thursdays at 2 o'clock. We will be doing that. We're going to do it for our team and the entire Market Center to participate. My entire team will be there. They will have to put it on the calendar and show up. I believe and I live by the MREA model. And I'm very messy in the MREA model. Very messy. I realized how much I didn't know from our little pop quiz on Thursday and how much I do know. And I know that if you follow the MREA model, you can create the team and business that you want. And you don't have to be a huge team to do it. You can do it, just the 2 of you. You can do it, just you, with all the right support pieces. You can't do it without the book. You need to read the book. So if you haven't read the book, download it, buy it, go to the store, pick it up, whatever you prefer, start reading it, get prepared, because that's our next book club, because I need each and every one on my team to understand how to apply the MREA model to their specific aspect of the business. So we're going to start. We'd love to have you guys join us for that as well. Okay?
Thank you.
That's in 3 weeks. We're going to do that. Any questions, concerns, ahas that you'd like to share? Anything?
the week of the 22nd.
I think so. We have next week, and then we're done. We're taking 1 week off, and then we're going to start.
And then Bold starts on Monday the 23rd.
Yes.
And then it runs every Monday beginning in April.
Yes.
Through the middle of May.
Which is great to do Bold and read the MREA book at the same time.
They will be going hand in hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So it basically will reinforce what you're reading.
Yeah.
And actually putting it into practice.
Yeah. It would be great. And it's only an hour, guys. Come on. You can give an hour for growth. An hour for growth. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
I just wanted to say that most people don't want to teach a class, okay? So when sometimes people ask you, you say no. But sharing and teaching, it makes you grow.
Oh, yes.
Because if you want to master anything, teach it.
Yes. Yeah, Gary Keller said long ago when I first started in the business with Keller Williams, he said long ago the road to mastery is through teaching. And so I've just said, okay, I will do that. Because it puts you in a place of accountability. You got to show up. You got to say stuff, right? I can't just stand here and just not have nothing to say. This is a book club, so it gives me the opportunity to hear your thoughts, your concepts, because it's not just about me. This right here in this format is an opportunity for us to share our thoughts and our concepts, because you guys have the ability to change my beliefs as well, right? And I want you to. I challenge you to. I encourage you to. I love conversation. It's it is the way through communication, right? It is just the ultimate communication. I don't know how to do it quietly. Maybe you do. I love when you do.
So even if you don't want to teach a big class,
Yes.
teach someone.
Yep.
Even you help another fellow agent to find somebody something in the MLS. There's always something that you can share and teach.
Yes.
The teacher, and to reinforce that, the teacher usually ends up having a greater impact on them, like you just said, because you have to show up. There's accountability to learn the material so that you can teach it. So when you're teaching it, you walk away with like a greater inspiration than maybe even the recipients of it. Not in all cases, but in a lot of times, because it's like you firmly believe it because you studied it to teach it.
Yeah.
So.
And by announcing it here makes me have to do it. I can't slack because I just told you all that I was going to do that. As long as the Market Center approves it, right? I've got to make sure that the room's available, all that good stuff. But it does force me into an accountability to show up and do it. Having to be here every Monday at noon forced me to an accountability to show up, be ready, made me listen to my John Maxwell book every Monday in the morning. That's the only thing I listen to in the morning, right? That's how I started my day. Please, Melissa, go ahead.
You are a transformational leader because I show up every Monday, try to, except for once.
You've done fantastic.
And I read the book, which probably wouldn't have.
Yes.
So through you, I do the same.
Yes, thank you.
I support
Thank
that.
you.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yes.
Thank you, Melissa. And I want to support your businesses. I want to help you in a way that I know how to do it. I know how to help and service 57 families. So if you want to get there, sit down with me and read the MREA with me, and I'll just share with you how we do it, right? And so our goal is 122, and I don't know when I'll get there. It might take me 3 years to get there, and it might be this year, and I'm determined to make it this year, but who knows, right? Who knows? All I know is if you want to service more families, sit down with us. You'll hear how we have applied the MREA principles to our business so that we have continuously for the last 3 years serviced about 57 families for the last 3 years. And we had a 10% increase this past year. So it's good, right? Thank you all for coming. I'm blessed by you all. And I'm looking forward to next Monday, noon, our last Leadershift class.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you, Lori.